So, hi everyone. I am Lakithia Nicole, and we are live at Lakithia Nicole Talk. I have special guest, Miss Gardner, with me. So, before I even try it, you can know what it looks like, but I'm going to allow you to tell them what your name is.
It's Leticia. Yes, people usually chop and screw it up, but it's Leticia.
That's what I figured. I was like, it might not be what I think it is. So, let me have her pronounce her name. So, that's
No
amazing.
problem.
Leticia, that's in Spanish, correct?
Puerto Rican, yes. I'm
Gotcha.
black. My father's black. My mother's Puerto Rican, so I'm mixed.
Gotcha. And then in English, how do they say it? Do they say it that same way? Like it's
All
not
I know is it as Leticia.
Leticia. Okay, gotcha.
I mean, they'll call me Letitia, but for the most part, it's Leticia.
Okay, okay. I hope now I'm just the worst with it. And my name is
No, it's all good.
all right. And it Leticia. So you know the reason you stood out to me is, as I had mentioned and corresponding with you, was that I came across your Instagram page in 2017. It was amazing. The thing that stood out about you was you were very beautiful, yet completely open, honest, transparent. I would see your posts, and obviously you have to give it a while to kind of follow that person, and you see the consistency. Completely open and transparent. It's like your life is completely beautiful, and that's what I love. It's glamorous, it's beautiful. But I want to get right into it with telling the where did this beautiful journey begin? You talk to us, you open up about your background in some of your posts, not having your father. And for the girls and the people that don't know a bit of your story, I wanted you to kind of tell them the beginning before the journey of this beautiful journey, basically.
Oh, wow. I mean, I guess the journey for me really started around 19 when I had the biggest life awakening moment there could be. And that's when I found out I was pregnant and I was completely on my own. Her father's never been in the picture. And I had a rocky relationship with my family. So I was all on my own at the time. So I end up leaving. I'm from Jersey originally, and I ended up moving to the South, but I ended up taking literally a garbage bag full of clothes. All I had left to my name, I believe it was $323 to be exact. I jumped on a train, I moved down to the South, and I just completely started over. And, for years, I had no clue on who I was or what I was going to be. I struggled with trying to figure out how I'm going to raise this little girl. I'm still a girl myself. Um, and it was just a fight. I was in survival mode for years, for a really long time, on just trying to provide and figure out who I was all in the same time. So it was a process. So that's the beginning for sure.
Okay. So how did you get on the path of, because you transitioned beautifully. How did you get
Thank you.
like with I see that it's God first, and there's
Always.
beautiful marriage, all of this. So what led you? You said you were finding yourself. What process did you begin to take to begin to find who you are?
So in survival mode, and taking care of a child, it wasn't about me at all, like, ever. But when I met my husband here in Atlanta, God put me in a position to kind of be still for a minute. He gave me room to be able to take a breath and find out who I am and what that looks like and what more I have to offer than just being in survival mode. So my husband and I, we actually got in church together, and I've lived life without God, and there's no peace in that. It was no peace, just constant, overwhelmed and crying all the time, and sadness and aloneness. And I dealt with abandonment issues and rejection issues, and I just had anger issues, and it was just so much. And I was at a point right before we got into church where I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was tired of fighting. I felt like I've done it my whole life. And I was just in a place of exhaustion. And when we got introduced into the church, a guy had invited us out, my husband and I. It just changed our whole world, our whole life, our whole perspective, the way we moved, where we hung out, who we hung out with, how we did family, how we did relationship. And when that happened, I started really praying and fasting and asking God for vision and clarity, because I literally had no clue. I didn't have a dream. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I felt like I didn't have any gifts or talents. I was just in survival mode. So when I got saved and I started praying and I started fasting, I started asking God to show me direction. He did. He did, and it was clear. It was clear after I finished I remember completing my first fast, and it was so clear that fitness was something I did on like every day anyways, right? So I trained my girlfriends all the time. I had no idea that he was going to turn that into the business that it is today. Like, thank God. But that kind of led me in my purpose, but it also opened the door for me to build myself and my confidence, and past that, because I've gone through so much. Most people around me didn't even know the things that I was fighting or the battles that I was dealing with. I just kept everything in real tight, smile on my face. I'm just cool. I kept a real tight circle. I never told my story. I never told my business, but God kind of put other things on my heart to make me realize that a lot of the things that I've gone through weren't even for me, but to help somebody else later. And that it may be tea for other people, but it's a real testimony, and it can save a lot of women. People, I feel like God has put a certain type of presence and a favor over my life that it attracts women, and they'll hear me. And I feel like God is using my voice and my platform to be able to do that.
Beautiful. Now I want to take you back, because you definitely touched on a lot of the things I'm going to say, because definitely even in the story, I wanted the people to realize that we see this glitz and we see the glamour, but while we're going through the trial, which is not, and the trial, which is not so beautiful, but the testimony is, because as we see you now, you don't see the residue of some of the things that you touched on. I wanted you to take us back to so was it during meeting your husband that you got on the path, or was it through finding God that led you on that path, that you found yourself in the midst of that?
It was all in the same timing. I truly believe. I truly believe in marriage, God uses our spouses. I think those are the people that are connected and closest to you. That's who you value even the most in opinion and critics. And it can feel like those are the ones. Your soulmates are the ones, I believe, move you out of your comfort zone. I believe God placed him here on purpose to push me. So of course, all of it goes to God and the glory of him. But I 100% believe that my husband was 100% part of my journey to get where I am today, for sure.
Now let's talk about you see how you said, like, again, it's beautiful, but you talked in a lot of your posts for the women that don't understand, now you're able to really, really, really open up, on this platform to really explain to them. You said that, it hasn't always been like this. Right. So I want to explain to them, in a relationship, just when it's your husband doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect necessarily.
No, nothing's perfect. It just takes work. And that's marriage. And that's what our new movement is right now, is our Marriage Matters movement. Because relationships, and I try to tell people, listen, don't look at us on IG and just think we woke up like this. We're going on year 12. It took a solid 6 years just to reach where we are right now. You know what I mean? It took a lot of work. It takes getting rid of expectations of people, being in a place that you're so cool with yourself that you allow the person in front of you the 100% freedom to be who they're supposed to be and who God called them to be, not who I think you should be, and vice versa. Like, it takes constant work, and everything that we built today and everything that we are today, we learned straight through trial and errors. Our boundaries and our vision is because we don't bumped our head over there and said, you know what, we're not gonna go down that road again. You know what I'm saying? We learned everything through trial and error. We've probably been through everything that would break somebody up, and we stuck through it, because relationships are just about two people figuring out. If you can navigate through conflict, if you could just work it out and not give up. But that's why our foundation is what it is, because the world teaches you it's all about happiness, right? It's all about you, me, what can you do for me? The word teaches you it's about holiness. One thing about it, when you're submitted, you can come together and you can be free in that. And it's happiness in that, don't get me wrong, but it takes work, and it takes you being selfless. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that because they're stuck in a selfish place, because that's what the world teaches you. What can you do for me? Well, what about me? Can you step back and be like, dang, maybe I'm being real selfish right now. Can I be intentional for him? It's about out serving each other, not what that person can do for you.
Exactly. And do you say that it was relationship with God that opened you guys up to see things the way that you do? Because some people are not in that space where they can see it that way, to realize that he doesn't have to be perfect. Would you say that finding yourself in that process, you and your husband both being committed to God, and like you said, also having that submitting to Him. You know what I mean?
100%, 100%, 100%. Because honestly, when a man is submitted to God, when a woman is submitted to God, all the other stuff, all the worldly stuff, it doesn't matter. You're not stressing about what he's doing or who he's doing or what's going on, because you know where his foundation is. You know where his conviction is. You know who he answers to. When a man don't answer to nobody but himself, then there's no accountability. But when a man answers to God, and he knows what comes with that, he's not doing that. So when you have that foundation, when you have that trust, I feel like sky's the limit. But 100%, it took me building that relationship with Christ myself to be able to see Him through God's eyes and not my own. Because if I'm looking through my own, I see a lot of offense. I can count every wrong. I can calculate. I had a real issue with just letting go of the past or keeping hold of everything. You know what I mean? So it's different. He just walked in the room. Talking about you. Yeah. So for 100%, it's you got to have that personal relationship, or it's going to be a fight.
And submitting, you said having that submission to God, and I want that to be very clear to the audience, is that both of you are submitted to to God, to Christ. To also go into, did you guys become Christians together, or were one of you saved before you met?
No, we actually, we both we both believed in God. We just weren't following God. We had our beliefs with Him, but our relationship wasn't there with Him. So but we got into that together. We got baptized, we got saved all around the same time together. So we started walking that out hand in hand.
Gotcha. And now moving to your brand and health and wellness, as I see it's fitness. So when I heard you say backtracking, you said that you've always been into fitness, but how long have you been just like this much? Because I can see the consistency with it. You're posting you're working out, you're athletic, you're posting all these different things. So have you always been this extremely dedicated and consistent with taking care of yourself?
No, don't get me wrong. I think I've always been kind of vain. So I always cared. I always wanted to be the cute girl. I loved always makeup in my hair and always being presentable. I've been like that since birth for sure. Yeah. But and I was super slim growing up. So I'd work out and play around, but I didn't take anything serious. I met my husband when I was about 23, 24 years old. And young, I'm slim still, I'm fine, but he worked out all the time. He's a retired athlete, so he was in the gym all the time. So that's actually what got me in the gym. So this is probably back in like 2011. I just it became a lifestyle for me there. But even then, it was years before I actually made it a brand. It wasn't until 2017 that I actually made it a brand. So you gotta understand, this was like a journey in the making with healing and processing. I didn't even start Instagram until I was like in a very healed place. Like this page I've only had going on 4 years now.
So I was right.
2017. I think I started it like that fall. So yeah. Okay. Right when I started Total Body 21. It's crazy.
And I think you said you started around that time. So it grew. I feel like it grew rapidly because, again, I've never seen a woman just that transparent, open on family, open on relationships, open on health. And I think that, because I didn't know you had it since you started it at that time. I had this. I had no idea.
I started it then. Mm-hmm.
And what?
2017. Huh?
And you said that you hadn't healed, so you wanted to be healed and whole before. So did you know? Well,
the thing about it is, I never was big on. I didn't do a lot of social media. We had like Facebook and stuff like that. But when I started a business, I was like, man, I need Instagram started like being a thing at the time, right? Probably like 2017, 16. I was like, okay, so it's starting to be a thing. So when I started my brand, I was like, okay, originally my husband's page was our page, right? So it used to be a joint account, which was Mr. and Mrs. Gardner, right? And then it was nothing much to it. We had it just like a year or two or whatever, but we didn't do a whole lot on there. But then when I started my brand, I was like, I'm gonna open up a second page. Let's just make this page your page, because I don't want to dictate what I'm branding on, because I started off doing meal preps first before I started Total Body 21. So it's like, I'm gonna focus on this so I can separate the business part of it. Yeah. And that's kind of how that went. And then I ended up changing it from my meal prep thing just to my name, and I started branding me because I got with some people that, you know, kind of taught me a little bit more about Instagram, but their whole outlook, I went to this meeting and I left and I was done after that, but their whole outlook was look single, sex sells, be
Yeah.
attractive, don't
Yeah.
post your family, don't post your man, you know, make it a vibe. I was like, screw that. I did none of that. I went the complete opposite route. I stayed completely authentic. I'm 100% myself on here. What you see is
Yeah.
what you get. Haven't changed up nothing. You know, I'm holy some days, I'm petty on others. It is what it is. What you see is what you get. But no, I just kept it consistent and built the brand from there.
Wow. So what I like, I'm happy you told that story because I'm sure people had no idea. You went against what they said and you're winning.
Absolutely.
I'm sure if you would have followed their route, you probably wouldn't even have the platform and the audience that you have. And it's the
Right.
transparency that I think that attracts these people to you. So how do you feel that, you know, with your transparency, how that it has changed lives? Like I'm sure people are in your DM saying how your relationship, you said it's not necessarily advice, but when you put it out there, it obviously helps to heal other people. How would you say
Yeah,
the
I definitely try to do it in a place of where I've overcome. You know what I mean? In hopes and pray that it does help somebody else, even if it just makes you feel less alone. You know what I mean? Because I feel like we all deal with a lot of the same things, maybe just different times. And all the marriage groups that we've been a part of with counseling and different things, I've realized that we all deal with emotion and we all deal with traumas and we all have areas of healing. We just may be fighting them at different times and be in different places spiritually. So, you know, honestly, I let the Holy Spirit lead me. Sometimes just I got my notes in my phone or just all types of things. Whatever God puts on my heart in the moment, I just put in there. I try to be obedient in that because that was uh what people don't realize was me being obedient to God because I wasn't one to share. I wasn't one to tell you what I got going on. Like some of the closest people around me are learning some of these same things when you guys are reading them. You know, and
yeah.
there's plenty I haven't shared. And when God tells me it's time, then I will. But for now, I keep, you know, I spread what I can and whatever, you know, the Spirit leads me to do so. And I definitely hope, but I don't want to be responsible for people's relationships or what they have going on because some people come around and they're like, well, he don't do this and she don't do that. This must be all wrong. I'm like, listen, every relationship is different. And we
Right.
did not just wake up like this. It takes constant work, like
Yeah.
constant, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow, it's beautiful. What would you say that, you know, on this marital this journey that you're on? Because as you mentioned, you guys do have a new page. I actually saw that it's marriage matters. What would
Mhm.
you say the lessons that you learned that you know through marriage, that what life has taught you through marriage?
Um, being a teammate and a partner is everything. I feel like that's one of the best things that we can do. I think my favorite word for marriage is being intentional. You gotta be intentional, even when you don't feel like it. You gotta learn to love unconditionally. You have to love in spite of how you feel. We get so caught up in our own feelings sometimes, and feelings, just like the Bible speaks on, it can lead you to destruction. You know what I mean? It can tear your household up because they can switch right back in the next 5 minutes, and now you're like, oh, maybe I took that too far. So I think the biggest thing in marriage is just to be intentional, but be each other's helpmates all the way around. Like whatever my husband's doing, whether I feel like doing it all the time, I'm a servant of him and he's a servant of me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it's just being there and being present. We get
yeah,
caught up. I've had a super busy week and I've been extremely tired. But you know what? I was intentional today to make sure whatever else I had to get done before this, I was going to be intentional with him, have
oh,
handle whatever he needed, the kids, the whole night. It's just constantly being intentional for the other person because you're not going to get that time back and it's not promised forever and it could be gone at any given second. I think if you keep that mindset with the people that you love, you'll understand how valuable time is. It's not things or places, it's time. That's the one thing you're not going to be able to get back. That's the one thing you don't want to lose out on, or those memories.
yes. And you said something too about being present. Now, how important would you say that is? You know, this.
Extremely. When I first started praying and fasting, because you know I didn't go to college, I didn't figure it out, like I didn't do that. Praying and fasting is what brought me to success. You know, it wasn't a background in education. You know, so So being present to me is just, it's just, oh man, it's when I ask God to direct me on how to be a partner, because I'm not a stay-at-home mom. I mean, I feel like I am some days. I do both, but I'm not one to, I'm a hustler, right? I'm an entrepreneur. I gotta go get it. I can't sit down. I gotta be on the move. I gotta be figuring it out. I love to provide. I love to put in. I like to, like, I'm gonna cut the check. I feel good doing that. It feels great being a whole boss
Yeah.
myself, you know? So one thing I asked God, though, when I was on this journey of figuring out who I was and what I was going to do to bring anything to the table, was allow me an opportunity to be successful and have financial freedom, but without hindering my presence and being here with my children and my husband. And
Mm.
that's where fitness came in, because everything is online. I literally can work right here from my phone. I don't miss a game. I don't miss a parent teacher conference. I don't miss showing up for my husband. I don't miss other events. And God has really led me in that direction to be able to be a boss, but a full-time mom and wife at the same time. So I
That's
do
what I
believe you can have it all.
Yes, you can. And that's another reason why I wanted you on this show, because I do want women to see that. I do want people in general, husbands, wives, singles, to see that you can have your empire, you can have your marriage, you can have your family, your kids, and you can do it all. Like, it's possible. And just do it doesn't mean, like you said, that you lack being present with your
Nope.
family. You don't make excuses of why
My
you're not.
kids come with me. Let's go. Husband's with me. It's a family affair. Everybody know. My girls come over. Bring your kids, because my kids are going to be here. They're never not present. I don't have a nanny. I don't have a housekeeper. I don't have a chef. I don't have any of that going on. Goes to people who got it, but I don't have that. I'm literally a full time. I literally just finished cooking for the kids and my husband before I came up here and jumped on this live. You know what I mean? So you can do it all. You really
Yeah,
can.
yeah. Um, I wanted to ask you also, so when did, like, you guys realize that you can make it? Because it's not just your brand now. I see it's you and your husband as well. Like, it's a teamwork. So when did you guys get together and, said this is going to be your empire? And you not only brought it to social media, obviously, but when it became this empire of health, wellness, and then you also have your clothes. I mean, can we get into all that too? Everything that
Yeah,
you
absolutely. Honestly, we've always been a team. From day one, we've been stuck like glue. Anyone who knows us, we're never apart. So even if he's not the face of my brand, he's always working behind the scenes with me, and vice versa. His companies and what he has going on, we're teammates in all things. In all things, we're always working with each other. We're always helping, building each other, regardless of what it looks like. It's just mine. He's always helping me. He's at the office painting, whatever he got to do. He's right there helping. But this brand we made specifically for ourselves, just because we felt like it was a big tack on marriages, especially during the pandemic, and relationships, and so many people around us divorcing and calling it quits over things that we're like, boy, that was just last Thursday for us. How are you over because of that, So we just really want to, and we know the devil hates marriage. He hates that foundation. He hates unities. So we're just trying to inspire people to know that it's bigger than just you and that person, especially if you have children involved in businesses or houses. Like, you can make it work, But with Total Body 21, I'm actually wearing one of my snake sets. Super
okay?
cute, right?
Yeah,
This comes in 3 colors. So when I first started it, I just had workouts and meal plans in their videos. So that's great. You can literally put me on your TV and do the workout right at home. Got waist belts, resistant bands, gloves, gym bags.
What
It's
about
a one-stop shop.
what about the waist belts? I'm asking for myself. Now, what kind of
Yes.
waist? I need new ones. So,
Listen, so this one is more, it's a combination of like a waist belt and a sweat belt, right? Because I don't believe in those like rubber zip up waist trainers. I feel like those are unhealthy for you. You're pushing stuff around. When you're working out with a waist belt on or sitting in the sauna, you should be able to breathe. There should be no point where you're like, you're too tight. Now you're not engaging your muscles like you need to while you're working out. So that's not what I have. Mine is
okay.
more of a sweat belt, so it helps you drop that water weight. I wish it was a magic belt. It's not. It's great for waist training. I wear it like 4 hours a day, especially during this waist training season now. It's crop top season. It's going to be here in just a few weeks.
Yeah.
So it's time to get on it, but it's not a magic belt. You do have to work out. You do have to eat right. You have to create a lifestyle, and that's why Total Body 21 is 21 minutes for 21 days, because that's how long it takes to break a bad habit. So if you can just commit for those 21 days, for 21 minutes, you'll be
Mm.
surprised the transformation, one, that your body will make, but how you'll feel afterwards, and how you will actually crave good things. Like, I eat bad all the time, don't get me wrong, it's about balance. But when I eat bad, it's like I'm so heavy, like my body is craving something green.
Yeah.
That's how much of a lifestyle it's come. And I feel like it's so important in the Black and brown community that we teach our kids earlier on, because we were just taught to eat whatever. We kids, it doesn't matter. But child obesity is a real thing. So I
Yeah.
believe it's important to lead by example and to teach my kids a healthier lifestyle, so as they go into adulthood, they're not taking these bad habits with them. So
Exactly. Exactly. Back to the waistbands for women that are listening to. You said not just the waistbands, but you said 21 days, 21 minutes to work out
yeah.
with you.
Mm-hmm.
21 minutes and just 21 days.
That's the first round. That's the first program. Now I've got programs that are 90 days and 6 months, but that's all it takes. Eat every day, 21 days, 21 minutes. That's all you got to do. Commit to that. It's
And
great.
then are there meal preps on that as well?
Meal plans come with it. It also comes with a macro calculator, because what people don't understand is for you to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit. So,
Okay.
and a lot of people don't realize that, well, I'm still, and they don't realize that the calorie that they're putting in, even if they're eating healthy all day long, it still may be too many calories for you.
Oh,
So in order for you to lose weight, so some people feel like, well, I've been on a diet for like 7 days. I don't see no results. I've been eating nothing but greens and smoothies, but you maybe still be eating too much of what you should be. And a lot of times what you're drinking.
yeah.
Drinking has a lot of calories in it. It could be a smoothie. It could be a protein shake. It could be alcohol. Alcohol is definitely a no on my program. But you can still be over your calorie deficit, or over your calorie intake. You must be in a calorie deficit in order to lose a pound.
Oh,
So portion control is super important, but if you don't know what your portion control is, if you don't know the calories that you're supposed to be taking in, then you're just kind of blindsided. But with my program, when you sign up, it actually comes with a macro calculator, and it'll tell you what your personal intake should be, because it varies on height, weight, activity level, age. A lot of these things go into play to create what your calorie intake will be, because it's going to be different than mine. You know,
mm,
it depends on how much you burn a day
yeah.
and versus what you eat. So
And they need to have cardio too, burn.
the workout is all, it's high intense cardio that you can do right at home. Resistant bands, is anything, everything can be done right at home. So it's super great and easy to commit to. And as a mom and a working mom, I kept it so where it's not overwhelming. You can do that while you sit them in the bath and do that 20-minute workout and get it done real quick and get a real good burn. Anyone that's on here that's done my program, they know it's no joke. You're going
Wow.
to burn like crazy. You're going to sweat like crazy for those 21 minutes. You're going to burn. It's amazing. There's a weight gain program as well. It comes with multiple meal plans, whether you're pescatarian, vegan, weight gain, weight loss, regular meal plans. So you get so much for just $39. Like, you
Oh,
get so much that's included.
really? The price. And what is that called? This whole thing that you're talking about, so that they can know, the viewers.
So the total access plan comes with every single thing I offer. I have a 3-day detox, the macro calculator. It has like 7 rounds. It's got squat challenge. It's got ab challenge. It has everything you could think of. And that's a 6-month plan, and that one's for $99. So one-time fee. It's not a reoccurring fee. But if you're just new and you want to see what it's about, you're skeptical, you want to see if it's for you, then you can start with like round 1, which is only $39. And that
Oh,
still comes with your workout meal plan, your macro calculator, multiple meal plans. It also comes with like total focused ab workouts, upper body workouts, butt and leg workouts, so that you can implement those in after doing a total body workout. So you still really get a lot. And it's an instant download.
oh, wow. And then you said something about the video footage. So
Yeah,
you,
everything is in video. So you literally can push play and pause however you want while you're going the whole way. You have unlimited access to it during your subscription.
oh, incredible. And then the resistance bands and the waistbands and what else that they can get? They can get your clothing as well, your
I've
workout.
got clothing, waist belts, resistant bands, gloves, want to keep our soft hands,
Yeah.
gym bags, the whole nine. I've got new sliders coming out, which I'm going to be dropping at my event. So if anybody's in Atlanta, March 20th from 11 to 3, Register. It's a completely free event. We're gonna sweat and shop. I've got a couple of great vendors that are gonna be there. This is gonna be a dope women empowerment, getting it in. Let's shop, let's sweat, let's talk workout, let's meet and greet. There's gonna be food, it's gonna be smoothies, it's gonna be amazing.
Incredible. Like, it's going to be fun. I wish I would be in Atlanta. I would definitely need to be at this event. I want
Yes.
also, Leticia, I've seen, like I said, I've been following you for some time. What I also love about you is that you are about, which I have to put this out here. So I have a women's empowerment company, which is one of the things I talked about. And I love the fact that you're all about women and being unified. So how important is it for you to, for women to be joined together, even for you to be a voice to women, like the way that you are?
For me, I got 4 sisters. I've got 2 daughters. I love women. I love when we can come together. I've got friends I've had since the 4th grade, and I've never been that I don't hang out with girls. It's great. I don't have the best experience all the time. Don't get me wrong. But I try to promote just healthy relationships, healthy bodies, whether it's with friendships or relationships, because I feel like, and that's why I tell my story and the importance of healing, because I feel like happy women not hating. But unfortunately, some people can come around you and be fake living on Instagram and then realize, and they're not happy in real life. And then when they come around you and you're happy in real life, it creates some tension. And you're like, whoa, hold on. You're not, I can't even relate to that, So unfortunately, but I'm not going to stop. I don't do toxin. I don't do drama with females. If you show me who you are, I'm going to pray for you. Pray you eat. You just can't eat with me. And that's okay. But I believe in protecting my household. I believe in protecting my peace. I believe in teaching my daughters that you don't have to stay in anything toxic. I believe that relationships work both ways, and that people will come around. They will use you. They're going to come in your life. They're going to leave you. You know what I'm saying? And I've reached such a place spiritually that when God shows me and reveals to me that this ain't it, hey, no problem. Don't matter what anybody else say. It's all good. Pray for you, goodbye. No hard feelings whatsoever. And I wish well for everybody. So I really believe it's enough for everybody to eat. Doesn't mean everyone has to eat with you, and it is what it is.
Yeah, no, that's important, because I think I don't want, like you said, it's all about transparency. I don't want people to get it twisted. So you don't have to be friends with everyone, especially
no, absolutely not. You got to protect your energy. Some people gonna come around and you're gonna be like, ugh. And there may be some dope women. They may have some really great things going on, but for whatever reason, your energies, they're not supposed to be mixed. I know a lot of dope women out here that I'm not connected with, and I've been around that maybe didn't work out, but it was like, yeah, we different. We in different lanes, and it's okay for you to stay in your lanes. I believe in positivity. I wish that everyone can get along and be great. I feel like we should always have respect and be cordial for sure. But I also believe, and I don't do no fakeness. My face expressions and all of that, I'm not. Y'all have to pray for me over there. I'm not with it. I can't do it. So it's like, yeah, nah, I'm gonna come on. We good. You know what I mean? So.
And you know what? I feel like, if for people that probably don't understand it, but I feel like you're discerning. You can tell what's real and what's fake.
You gotta listen to that.
What did you say?
You gotta listen to that discernment. That's for sure.
Yes, I picked that up about you, and that was another reason why I wanted you on the show, because I wanted people that I felt were real. I don't want just anyone on the show. I need people to bring, to represent what I represent. This is my show, so I wanted to be healthy friendships, building, taking care of yourself, mind, body, and soul, health and wellness, God first, which is most important to me, and family most important. So I couldn't be more blessed to have had you on the show. I wanted to also you to go back into so for people out there to really understand that everybody's not necessarily meant to be in your life the long haul. If you
I believe in seasons. Like, I definitely believe in seasons. Sometimes people come in to bring somebody else in. You know what I mean? For you to plant a seed in them, and they're supposed to keep it moving. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like God put some people in my life that maybe I was supposed to do a little work for, and then that was it. Not everyone is meant to go with you, and we gotta be okay with that. I feel like God is always protecting and redirecting. And if we can just want and pray and thank him for the things that he's doing for us and not focus on the things that we want for ourselves, we'll be okay. Because it only gets better with God. And I really believe that when you got people around you that it's like uneasy or it's overwhelming or it's anxiety or it's just drama, it's like that's not of God. This isn't
No.
God. God's not in this relationship anymore. You know what I mean? Because when it comes from him, it comes with peace. It comes with sound mind. And at this point in my life, I got a daughter that's going to be 16 next month. I'm not doing no drama with no grown women. I got a teenager for that.
Right.
I can take nothing else. So if that's what you're going to bring over here, then you cut off all the way. I don't have time for it. Sorry. I've got
Right.
children to be present with. I've got a teenager to be present with. That's all I'm not signing up for nothing else.
Don't have. I wanted to also because that's what I'm all about. What you're saying, my friends will tell you. Speech right there. What I like too about you about going now to back to your marriage was when your husband came into the room. When you said some people are doing that for fake, you know, their relationship. I don't know nothing about it, but like you said about them, it's not real. Their Instagram, you know, relationship. But what I know is that when he came into the room and the camera's on you and the way you looked up at him, you can still see butterflies in your eyes. That in you, like it's really a real relationship with happiness because you lit up when you see this. You can see that, so that's beautiful. We want people to see that now. Also, for me, it's important that they can see that you can have a long, you know, longevity in your relationship. Most people think that, oh, the happiness is the spark runs out and the year or once you get married. You said you guys been together 12 years. Would you say that, I mean, obviously it's ups and downs, but you still have that spark in your eye? Do you still feel that you still feel those good feelings toward him, even though it's been a long time?
Absolutely. In the beginning, you know, I lusted for my husband, but I didn't love him. I don't think I truly loved my husband until I got saved, until I got healed, because I didn't know love. And everything that the Bible said love was: patient, kind, not quick to anger. I ain't feel none of that. I was angry all the time. I was mad all the time. I wasn't kind a lot.
What
So
were you mad?
absolutely not. What'd you say?
What were you mad? You said you were mad all the time. What were you mad about? Is this?
You know, I had a lot of anger issues just from growing up, from childhood. And people don't see it in me now, but I grew up fighting all the time, like physically fighting, always getting in trouble. I had a real slick mouth, but my hands was quick too. So but I grew up around domestic violence, and I was in domestic violence relationships. So it was like my norm. You know what I mean? Pop off, I'm swinging. I don't care if you were 300 pounds, 6'5". I'm throwing this lamp across the table. You know, I was like that. I would tear up the whole house, break everything. So I had a lot in me, and he had to do a lot of forgiving for me. But I was a young girl. And that's one thing in the Bible, when you get saved, you know, you learn to put those childish things away. Now I don't break anything. I'm not turned up like that anymore. But I absolutely, the first 6 years we were rocky. I would fall in and out of love, or I don't love you, or I want to watch. I break up with him every other week. Let me tell you how dramatic I was even the first year of marriage. I'd be so mad. In the past year, we were still fresh in church and everything, and they're like, "You can't leave, and you don't go to bed angry." I'm like, "Screw that." I would take all my stuff out the room and go to sleep in the guest room. I would move my whole closet. I'm taking all my side of the stuff out. I'm going into the guest room. I was dramatic. You know what I mean? But, you know, then I would look stupid having to unpack everything, put it back once I calmed down. But no, I absolutely went through all of that. I love you. You know what? I don't love you. I want to be with you. No, I don't want to be with you. I was a runner. So I was so quick to give up and quit every other chance I got. As soon as I got angry, I'm out. I'm gone. You know, so it was a process. It take a lot of growing on both ends. I come from a big dysfunctional family. I'm straight from the streets. So I'm fresh out the streets when he met me, you know, from the hood, you know, from Jersey City. And then he's this only child. He coming from this NFL lifestyle. He's used to these yes girls who do whatever he say and want, and always waiting for him. And I come, this little wild firecracker with a real slick mouth. I curse like crazy. I don't curse anymore. And that was like, girls aren't supposed to curse. I used to be like, what the, you know? So it was a while. We both did a lot of growing, a lot of growing together.
And so for the people that are catching on, they're catching in, and some people are saying, how do you avoid that? But can you tell them how you had to go through that to get to this place that they see you at right now?
Honestly, it was I had to do a lot of self-reflection, right? I had to look at me. I had to take the offense off of everyone else. I had to take the blame off of everybody else. I had to stop making excuses on, I'm like this because of my mama. I'm like this because my daddy wasn't there. I'm like this because this happened to me when I was 5. And I'm like, I went and digged all the way deep. And every childhood trauma, the very first time I ever felt alone, the very first time I ever felt rejected, the first time I felt abandoned, I dig deep to those moments, and I had to heal from there, not from when he made me feel like it, because he didn't make me feel like it first. It was a trigger. These triggers, they come before we get into relationships. With marriage will reveal the areas that you need spiritual maturity in, and the areas that you need growth in. So that's what I believe. That's what makes it hard in relationships or marriages, because you think your spouse is just triggering you and just coming at you, but no, they're revealing the areas in you that's unhealed. And a lot of that happened for me. I think I always was step back towards people. I never was too close to anyone. So when I was so close to him, it showed me all these things that I had swept under the rug for so long. But it took me doing the work and being accountable, me going head on with my demons and calling them out by their name and rebuking them in the name of Jesus, and just constantly practicing that every single day. But I think the biggest part of the recovery was learning to forgive myself and owning my contributions in the situations that even I put myself in, because I could have acted different. I could have, you know what I mean? We like to act like we don't hold any responsibility to some of the things that we go through, And I was like that as a kid. Oh, it's their fault. I was a kid. You shouldn't have did that. But there were certain areas, like I had a super slick mouth, that I would go back and forth, and I made it hard at home. Truth be told, I made it hard. I didn't make it easy. I was smart. I had a smart mouth. I got into fights all the time. So when I was able to become an adult and see myself as a child, especially having kids, I was like, you know what? I'm going to apologize to my mother. I'm going to apologize to my stepfather. I'm going to thank them, and I'm going to ask them for forgiveness. So in doing that, freed me from all the resentment and the abandonment issues I felt like I had, or mad because you weren't there for this, when I put myself in a lot of situations, because this ain't the Disney Channel. This is real life. And our parents are fighting battles that we know nothing about. You know what I'm saying? So if we can see them as human and get rid of all the expectations, we can be healed from a lot of those childhood traumas, because they were just experiences in life. They don't have to make us. I realized that being broken was a choice, and I choose not to be broken anymore. And that's how the work really just came to where it's at now.
Oh, wow. And you actually got into it. So I didn't, this is what I wanted them to see. This is what I wanted, because there's people that are dealing with brokenness issues. There's women that are in that same place. They went through some things. They haven't let go of the childhood trauma. They haven't forgiven. They haven't, looked in the mirror, because you said it. You said a key. You have to do the work. You have to look at yourself. You got to be accountable. I want to ask you, on your spiritual journey and your healing journey, was there any counseling or therapy involved, or did you do it between you and God?
Oh no, lots of therapy. Lots of therapy. My husband and I both together. Lots of therapy. Group therapy, one-on-one therapy, together therapy. No, we went through 5-6 years of therapy. No, it's just great maintenance. Having my husband and I both, we have very strong personalities.
Okay.
So giving each other the freedom to be who we are called to be, because God uses us just the way we are. He didn't make a mistake when he made either one of us. It's not for me to change or to alter. He is God, the way God made him on purpose, and vice versa. So, but with us having such strong personalities, he's a competitor, so he don't like to lose. But I'm a fighter, so I refuse to back down. So we had to have somebody come in the middle to kind of teach us the tools to find a balance in a median, because we both ready to box it out. Like, what's up? You know what I mean? I'm not losing. I'm not backing down. I'm not a quitter. So it was a process for sure. So lots of therapy. It was actually his idea. So yeah, it was great.
Because some people don't believe in therapy, and we can go to God, but sometimes we need someone to even I'm thinking I've never gone to therapy, but I'm believing that because one of my cousins is actually a therapist. I wanted to ask you, in therapy, are they allowing you to see yourself? Like, are they speaking to you in a way that calls you to see yourself and reflect?
Oh, it's 100%. That's all it was for us. When we
Okay.
went to even our first marriage groups, it was the title of it was "Your Spouse Is Not Your Problem." Took me 3 years to take that course and believe that. Don't get me wrong, I didn't learn it the first time, but it's all self work. It's all self accountability. It's you working on being whole so that you can. Because when you're whole, you're not looking for someone to feel anything. You know what I'm
Amen.
saying? So you that person, you're cool. Whatever they do is just an add on. I'm happy inside with me. So anything you do for me just adds on to that. I'm not expecting you to make me happy or feel whatever voice. I'm not expecting you to fight the demons that I'm called to fight. They're not yours. You know what I'm saying? You just learn to appreciate the people next to you instead of the expectation of what they should be doing to help you. You know what I mean? Because you learn to do the work yourself. But we only have done biblical counseling. So for us, it's the foundation. We can argue, and that's the biggest thing for us, is not leaning on your own understanding, but God's word on it. So that's where we take out, well, I feel like this and you feel like that, or I feel like it should be like this. Take out your opinions. What does God say about it? See, the devil wants you to believe the lie so that God can't use you. And that's what I've learned to do. I've learned to replace all the lies that I believe that the devil wanted me to stay in, to replace with God's truth. I'm not alone. The devil wants me to believe that I am. I'm not. I'm not abandoned. The devil wants me to believe that I am, but God says I'm not. He's never forsaken me. You know what I mean? So you just have to replace all of that. It's mental, but it's possible to really heal.
Yes, 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 with God's truth. I really believe on wholeness for the women that are listening that think, so they can realize. I want you to say this again, how important it is to be whole, to realize that a person does not make you, that your partner should not fill you up. You should be whole, but you do have to do that work. You do have to do that healing like you did in order to even have a healthy functioning relationship. You do have to do that work. Because someone asked
Absolutely.
they wanted to know, and I wanted to, direct this to you. They said, can you do the work and be in a relationship? You did a lot of your work in the relationship,
I
correct?
did all of my work in the relationship. It's not easy. It's tough. You know what I mean? Honestly, I didn't believe in love until my husband. I dealt with like, oh, you're just gonna leave me too. It doesn't matter, right? That's what people do. So honestly, he taught me love, because there was times I'd be screaming, I hate you, it's over, it's leaving, and he would just hold me, and he was like, I'm never leaving you. I'm never gonna let you go. And it softened my heart, and it just made me feel safe, and it just started to break down barrier after barrier. But when I met my husband, I was young. I had no clue on who I was, what I was going to be. I had no direction. I was just young, surviving in these streets, a young single mom, just in motion. You know what I mean? Full of emotion, just but moving. So I grew into the woman I am in my marriage, in my relationship, and he's been a part of every step of the journey.
Oh, wow, that's
I'm not
incredible.
saying, I mean, I don't recommend, we're older now. So if you can get to know yourself, what you need and what that looks like, and do the healing first, 100%, it'll probably make relationships way easier to do that. But it just wasn't the way it worked out with me. So yes, I believe you can still grow in relationships and heal in relationships and be successful.
Great. And Leticia, we another big topic for this show is self-love. How important would you say self-love is?
Oh, it's extremely important. I don't feel like you can truly receive love if you don't love yourself. You know what I mean? I think you can only halfway allow someone to love you if you don't fully love you. You know what I mean? If you're in the gate, then you don't even, if you can't see you, and if you don't know your worth and where you're at, you'll accept anything. You know what I mean? It's so important to love yourself. It's so important to know that God didn't make a mistake when he made you. You know what I mean? And you gotta have, that's key. Like, that's key in all things, for you to be able to receive this, for you to feel whole, for you to have happiness, for you to have healing. You have to, self-love goes with all of that. You can't self-heal. You can't self-reflect. You can't look at yourself and say, you know what? I'm gonna eat the fish with that and throw out the bone and grow, if you don't love yourself. Because you got to love yourself in order to want to make those changes and make those adjustments and grow.
Yes, yes, yes.
Still love yourself to want to be happy,
Exactly,
to know you
exactly,
deserve it.
exactly. Someone asked, and this is the last question for someone that asked, but they said, how do you know the person is the one?
Oh gosh, that question. You know what? I've heard so many people's relationships and how they just kind of got with people and it was cool. And I believe in marrying the one that you are beyond cuckoo crazy about. I mean, the one that just rocks your whole world, because when it gets rough and when it dies down and when it gets stale, you got to remember what you're fighting for. And I don't believe it's about, and life is short, you know? I don't believe it's about living with, I don't believe it's about who you can live with. I believe it's about who you can't live without. And
Yeah.
my husband for me was like, I was never the clingy type. I wasn't. I can let him go without no problem. You come and go. I ain't stunting none of y'all. But I was crazy about him. Like it was like an obsession. Like I never felt that ever. I didn't even recognize myself. I was like, I was wilding out, crazy, showing out. It didn't matter. Pulling up, acting a fool. I was crazy about him, and vice versa. Like I said, since the beginning, this ain't just for social media. Anybody that knows us for the past 12 years, we're never apart. We've
Mm,
never even worked jobs that were away from each other.
wow.
We are always together. We do everything together. It's just like it's just in sync. We go grocery shopping together. We go to Home Goods together. We work out together. When we're
That,
not in each other's presence, it's like, where you at? What you doing? When I'm out, like it's just a natural thing for us. And I don't think I realized how maybe unnatural that is for a lot of people until they like, y'all always together. Y'all don't drive each other crazy. I'm like, no, like we really do life together. I thought this was normal. I thought that's what every couple does. Like, shouldn't you always do stuff together? But maybe we do too much together. I don't know. But it works for us. But we
it worked.
always like that. He downstairs right now with the kids.
Wow. And you know what? I put up the video of you guys. It was so funny. So this is the thing. I never seen your husband's page. And when I went to his page, I saw that video and I fell in love with it. I said, I have to post this because I need them to see that you can be Christian, you can have fun, you can do marriage, and it can just be all that you want it to be. I felt like it showed so much in that particular video. Another thing, Leticia, about
What video?
so I posted a video, you and your husband. This is what we do when the kids are, I think you think they're asleep on Valentine's
Oh,
Day.
yeah. Yeah.
Of the music, the whole thing, what you were doing. I just love that video. So I had to post it so they can see that when you get to know about marriage through this couple that I chose to have on this show, you're gonna see that marriage is all these great things like that you want it to be. You can't have your fairy tale. So you guys went through things. That's not what it's about as a wholeness thing. Now it created the foundation, obviously, but where
Right.
you are, what the most important part is. You see what I'm saying? You're
Mm-hmm.
taking them to show them. You know what I'm saying? The platform is about. You know, you see the glitz and the glam, but you don't know the story. And so in this process, you have given us bits of the story. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think walk away from it seeing that you can build, you can have that family, you can have the marriage, heal, you can be whole, and it's okay if you're dealing with some things. Just heal, sis. Like it's okay. Go. You went through it, and I mean, you really was so transparent. You said you go there, you're ready to fight, whatever the case is. But look at you now. So it's not
Yeah.
about that so much in that sense, but it's like, look at her now. She's done that work. She's not angry. She's not these things that she
Right.
said. God has healed her. She's whole, and she
Definitely.
has successful, thriving marriage, business, family, and like you said, it's real. Because I don't want anything fake on here. That
Right.
I
No. But one thing
formed.
about it, and I believe you can't fake the fruit. You know, people can fake their image they all they want. They can do this all they want, but you can't fake the fruit. One thing about it, when you see everyone acting like they're so happy and then boom, something happened, you like, wait a minute. That's them faking the fruit. Because one thing about it, it's going to be consistent. It's going to stay all the way through. You know what I'm saying? But God, it always comes back out. You can't fake the fruit that God got in your life. You can't fake that favor. So you can pretend for as long as you want. People, I see it all day long. It always fool me because, and I've had to realize that with people that come in my life that, they've been following me probably before that I actually meet them and stuff like that. So they they almost use like, oh, I know your story, I know you, and they connect with me and they go along like they're the same as me. And then I'm
Oh,
like, yeah, you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I've been there too. I've done that too. I'm the same way. And then their life, you get up close and you're like, well, that's not the same thing. Like, you know, I just try to be kind and just be cool, but I don't do the fakeness. Like, just keep it 100 with me. I can take the ugly truth any day over a pretty lie. And I don't want anyone to be around me and feel like they can't keep it 100 or be transparent in all things. Because I'm going to keep it G always.
And I'm with that. Exactly. I'm telling you, and that's so real. So you actually, like you said, you know, this is a deep question because so you've actually experienced people in person pretending, and then you see something different. So I'm sure you're like, what in the world, right?
Yeah, listen, it's real. I'd be like, I have to unfollow and just leave people alone because I'm like, if I know you in real life and I know what you put in, it's a lot of that. It's so much of that. It just seems exhausting to me. I'm like, how do you even keep up with this? Because if I feel like being petty today, I got to talk myself out of not being petty on here. But if I don't like my husband today, you ain't going to see a picture of him either. You know what I'm saying? So, but people got, you know, these fake images that they're always trying to portray or sell or do or whatever. And it's like, I don't personally don't believe in it. I just be like, God sees everything. So what's the point? That's
Yes.
all that really matters. My validation don't come from people. It is, I don't have a stronghold of opinions of others. I am heavy on the block and delete. Show me yourself. I'm glad when y'all come posting something crazy. Delete, block. That's cool. It don't mean nothing.
Right. You know what? I never thought about this, but when you said that, I'm wondering what is it? Because you know when you're meeting some of these people, and so they have an image to uphold, or if they want to keep
Yes.
wonder, you know, that's off of the show. But I never, you know, I personally, I'm so much to my family, my immediate circle, so I don't really open up to meet a lot of people to know these different
Yeah.
things. But great following, I'm sure you're meeting all of these people, and you know
Yeah.
you're back with people and you're seeing all of this, and that's unfortunate that you have to go through that. But the good thing is that it taught you a lesson, and you know how to deal with it. You know how to basically screen. You know what I mean?
No,
So,
for sure. But I truly believe it's just in season. I'm not saying they came around to be fake or that was the purpose of it or anything like that. But for whatever reason, God placed me in your life for a reason. And maybe I was meant to plant a seed, but God knows how to move people out of your way. He knows what you need to back up. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like God puts me in certain situations because I'm one to hold on. I'll hold on to relationships or people that I probably should let go of because I'm always trying to look for the good in people and give you chance after chance. But it'll be a moment that God will say, okay, I'm done trying to be nice and tell you I'm going to have to like, let me put a little pressure. I know what it's going to take. I hate that you're going to feel this betrayal, but unfortunately, you don't move unless I, you know, put my foot down. So
yes,
I've learned to accept things like that. So when certain things happen, I'm not even mad at you no more. I'm just like, oh well, I guess God was trying to tell me anyways. I ignored a couple flags though. That was on me. So I've reached such an area of like spiritual growth that I'm like, I ain't even looking at you like the enemy. I'm just like, yeah, I was supposed to go. It's just my time. All is good. I gotta go this way though, you know? So yeah.
story. Before we close out, could you let them know, like, is there anything else you want to let your audience know that you're working on, that you're doing, any events, where they pick up everything at? Because we talked about all of your amazing everything. Where can they get everything before we close out?
Yes, definitely check out everything I have to offer for other ladies want to keep it tight, get it right. TotalBody21.com. There's also a free app for iPhone and Androids. If you guys want to download, there's a community group on there. So it's like its own social media where you guys can keep up with everyone doing a program. All my apparel. If you're in Atlanta that weekend of March 20th, it's a free event. Make sure you register on my website on TotalBody21.com. Come get it in, have a good time, enjoy some food, shop a little bit. We just want to have a girls' day. Marriage matters. It's a movement. Whether you're married or you're not, you're manifesting love in marriage and you just need a little extra guidance or advice. That page is great. We just started it. We've got some apparel on there too. Hats are coming. There's t-shirts and sweaters. So go ahead and start manifesting love for 2021. Join the movement.
Yeah. Love it. Well, Leticia, I want to thank you so much for your time, your transparency, authenticity. I absolutely loved it. I feel like the audience loved it. If you are, I don't know if you want to, answer any questions from them, but if not, I definitely feel like you gave us a lot of the behind the scenes story. I wanted the people to see behind, the glitz and the glam that we see now and who you really are even more. Like you did do that. But if you want to take any questions, you can on the live if you want.
I'm down wherever you want. If you have something that you want to ask or you see a couple, let me know. I'm down.
Okay, so guys, she's open. So if you guys have any questions on the topics and the things we talked about from self relationships, whatever it is, please go ahead and ask maybe like a few for her.
Let's see, there's one that came up. Let's see. What made you guys get married? I'm sure the boyfriend and girl relationship had its issues. So was it that told you guys? Was it that? I think she said, is it God told you guys to get married and keep figuring it out? Yeah, so when we got into church, we actually started counseling when we were dating. So even before we got engaged, we got into church and we were just trying to figure out at that point of our relationship if we can be together because we were crazy about each other and we wanted to be together, but we didn't know how to be together. And we knew that it was no longer going to work in our works. We're going to kill each other for sure. So when we got married and we really understood and learned and started to be convicted and take in God's word and his ways, because the word says, if you love me, you'll keep my ways, you'll follow my word, and not just believe it but walk it out. So when we started dating, we were living together at the time and we're like, I can't do this no more, I'm getting ready to move out, I don't want to be shacked up. We really got convicted. We stopped having sex, everything, and we was like, we're gonna do it God's way or we're not gonna do it at all. So we ended up finishing the course in spring. He asked me to marry him in August and we got married in February. It was all part of the journey in God's plan and asking him, because a lot of times we invite God in to bless us, but we in such a mess. And God ain't called to bless the mess. We got to do the work. We can't keep asking him to fix us and do this, and we're not even honoring his word. You know what I'm saying? So even sex, which was hard for us to do, we took off the table because we knew that was against God. So we really, 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 really strive to walk it out the way God intended us to do. And we asked him to bless our union. And I believe that's why a lot of it is so blessed, because we did it his way and we put our own ways aside.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Do they have another one for you or you're good?
Um, okay, yeah, now they're coming through. Hold on. You talk a lot about, let's see, someone said, you talk a lot about praying and fasting. What does that look like for you? So before I pray, before I fast, I always pray. So depending on, like when I'm asking God for vision, or if I'm asking God for direction, or I'm asking God to bless my business or my household or my husband, or pray for something on my children, I pray first and I ask God to reveal to me what I should pray. I mean, what I should fast for, like what I'm giving up, because biblical fasts have to do with food. So what food am I giving up and how long should I fast for? So during that, I pray on it first. So God reveals to me, do it for this long and give up this. And that's what I go with. And during those times, what fasting does is just reconnecting you even with God, and it shows sacrifice for the things that you're asking him for. And I think that's an important part. If you download the Daniel Fast book, it kind of breaks down a whole bunch of those fasts. But what it looks like for me is I give up the things that I want the most, right? Like especially food, sugar. Love sugar. Yes. I'm almost done. Sorry. I love sugar. So this is a good example when fasting. So the thing about it is when I'm fasting and I'm giving up sugar, when I crave sugar, when I think about sugar, when I want sugar, that's when I should be talking to Jesus. That's when I should be praying. That helps me reconnect on what I'm staying focused on and what I'm praying about in those moments. So it's just a way to be more intentional with God.
Yeah.
So
Someone wanted to know, you said you guys basically went into celibacy. They wanted to know, was it hard for you? How hard was it for you guys to become celibate?
so hard. Even when I didn't like him, I was always attracted to him. So definitely hard. And we had been together for years already, very regularly. You know what I mean? So definitely not easy. Definitely couldn't do it in my own works. Definitely was hard. it was hard. But you know what? It makes your wedding night so much more special.
When you wait.
It's a different level of intimacy and covering when you're sleeping with your husband. You know,
Yeah.
it's a different level of safety and
Mm-hmm.
love that you just never gonna feel as a girlfriend.
Right. Right. I love that. Love that.
But yeah, okay, so I guess that's all. They're screaming for me now.
Enough time. So definitely save the, I see some of your people had asked for us to be saved. I'm not sure how we can get it, but I definitely
I
want it
think
on.
it lets me download it after this, so that's what I plan to do. I'll download it, just DM me your number, and I'll send it right over.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us, and we appreciate it. I wish you guys continued success in everything you guys have going. And thank you.
Thank you. Bye.